Hello, I'm Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram, and this is fucking talking shit with Eagle, episode 402. Hopefully, you guys have had a great day. I know I have. I've got a great guest for you this evening, someone that you guys have been asking for quite some time, Uncle Stoner. You want to tell
Well,
us how you're doing, my friend, and of course, where they can find you?
I'm doing great. Summer's finally starting to be here. Thank God. We're able to start, hopefully, starting to get out there and be able to do things again now. What was the other question? Oh, where can you find me at? I got Instagram, Uncle Stoner on Instagram. I have Uncle Stoner on Facebook. Yeah. And then I have a YouTube channel, Uncle Stoner on YouTube as well, where I have various videos and stuff from our competitions that we throw to just various places I've gone and stuff and everything.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to hang out tonight, for sure. So, I guess we'll get this going. So, what has led you down cannabis journey? When did cannabis enter your life? When did things cannabis start with you?
Well, honestly, I'm from a town called Grass Valley, California. And actually elevation is 2420. Believe it or not, look it up. Grass Valley, California, elevation 2420. And my father grew cannabis and stuff, not on our property, but the next door and stuff. And I had a cousin that was the black sheep of the family. He smoked a lot of cannabis, and about 10 years old, he introduced me to cannabis at that time. Of course, I didn't smoke it much. I only maybe smoked it a little bit in high school, and then straight out of high school, I went into the military. You know, I think it was May 28th. I graduated high school. June 3rd, I was in boot camp. You know, 15 years later. And I did close to 15 years, Navy and Army, working VA, hospitals, government service, and all that. And I have PTSD and also a bad back and stuff. And of course, the PTSD and all that stuff, they just kept on giving me all kinds of stuff, all kinds of pills and stuff. It just made me worse, made me more depressed, made me more anxiety, made me feel like life wasn't worth anything until I finally decided to start trying smoking cannabis again. Started smoking cannabis again. It started giving me that new lease on life. And, and I've been smoking ever since. Now that's the only thing I use for my medication is cannabis. It helps me out with my seizures because now since I've gotten out of the military, I have seizures once in a while. But with the cannabis, it makes it actually farther in between times and all the time. So, yeah.
So, how exactly does it help you with your anxiety and PTSD? I know it does help a lot of people, but it varies from person to person on exactly how it helps. So,
Well,
how do you find really fitting?
I know it doesn't sound odd, but one of the things I like is when I smoke a lot of cannabis, I don't have dreams really, so I don't have them flashbacks and them nightmares and stuff as much. So that helps. Or if I'm over anxiety and stuff, or I do have a flashback, I smoke some heavy indica, something more indica dominant or pure indica, and that relaxes me, gets me down. If I'm the opposite, where I'm depressed, moody and stuff, I smoke something with a more sativa, hybrid, more sativa dominant to give me that uplifting, energetic. And so, that's what works for me. And same with the pain. If I'm in pain, I try and do a heavy indica with a high percentage of CBD, which most indica does have a lot of CBD in it. So that usually helps me with my back pain.
So, are you a grower as well, or just a consumer?
Yes, yes. I used to do a lot more of it. I had a 100% organic cannabis farm in Northern California. I'd get all my genetics straight from Amsterdam, straight from like Ben Dronker, you know, and all kinds of other people over there, Sensi Seed, BC Bud, Soma, you name it. I used to get a lot of genetics from them. And I grew 100% organic in California. Now that I don't really have our permanent place now is in Jamaica mostly because we're so busy in the summertime. We're traveling around. I have a place in Jamaica where we do breeding. So we do a lot of crossbreeding and stuff and work on our own genetics there. And then I have a friend that's he has a pretty good size grow operation, a nice little greenhouse, good size, over 40 some odd feet greenhouse. I don't know how many feet wide that we've been working our genetics in there too. So yeah, I'm still growing. I kind of miss the girls because we've been here for like 3 days now. And usually every day we're in there for a few hours a day, three to four, 3 to 4 times a day in the greenhouse. You know, I personally, to be honest with you though, I prefer growing outdoors. When you do greenhouse, it's a lot more trickier, a lot more problems. You know, I see them little houses behind you. One little thing goes problem with one plant, usually, it's it's harder to get them dialed in when you do greenhouse. You know, nutrients level, humidity, all that stuff, temperature and stuff, especially when you grow different strains. Because certain strains may need a certain type of humidity and heat, and then the other ones need less or so. So when you get a lot of different strains together in one greenhouse, you have to find that sweet spot where where all the plants love it and benefit from that, the humidity and the heat and everything. So, but with outdoors, I don't know. I just been way better outdoors. It was just a lot easier. I knew what to feed it and how to treat it and everything. I worked real hard on my soil. You know, usually 4 months prior to 4 months prior to even putting anything in my ground. I put 10,000 redworms out there, and then like a month before, I put bat guano, mushroom compost, all that stuff. Just work it into the soil and everything, and then I'd feed it long advanced nutrients or some other nutrients periodically. But everything I put in that soil was just like gold. I don't know, my plants. I didn't really have that and no problems outdoors like you do indoors. Indoors is set. It's tricky. You know, it's a hard thing to do to get it perfectly dialed in. But I've seen some people out there that, I mean, have huge grow rooms, and they're just amazing. Like my friend Corey Bufkin, he owns one of them. It's 120,000 square feet grow facility in Aurora, Colorado. Every one of them plants look perfectly dialed in and get gorgeous, from the veggie room to the flowering room to the cloning room. All it's just top notch, you know. But it's hard to do. I said I prefer the outdoors, but then I also prefer doing the breeding there in Jamaica, because in Jamaica you have pretty much 12 hours on, 12 hours off, no matter what, there in Jamaica. So they start showing their characteristics real soon. They show up their male and female, so you can pick out your best phenos and sit there and start crossing them. And you can get 2 to 3 grows in 6 months there, in a 6 month period. It's, you can get that. I mean, that's just for seed production, of course. You can do that. And so that's why I like doing what I'm doing in Jamaica.
So when you started growing, did you see that the therapeutic side of cultivation coming? I asked
Oh,
that on purpose because, man, as far as anxiety and PTSD, cultivation side of it, I mean, it's just as uh, therapeutic as the medicine I find
yeah.
for most.
Yeah. Working with your plants. I love, that's one thing I like about going into the greenhouse and defoliating and all that stuff. It's nice. It's relaxing, you know. Sit there. Yeah, it's really, I love gardening and working in the garden. It's good for PTSD. It's good for relaxing and kind of getting your zen on, getting you in the right spot. Unless you have a lot of problems in your greenhouse, it's not so. Yeah, but as long as everything's going good in your greenhouse, it's like, ooh, yeah. But so yeah.
I definitely have to agree with that. If everything's going right, it is the same place.
Yeah.
So are there some what are you breeding over there? I'm curious on
Well,
what you got going.
well, we got a few things, but one of the ones that we've been working on really mainly for the last 4 years is our Caribbean strawberry. Yeah, we started with Crockett Strawberry Fields. Then we took a sour purple Jamaican tansy, island skunk, and a few other strains that we found there, picked out the best phenos and everything, and we crossed it, recrossed it, back crossed it, and double crossed it again. And we actually grew it out in Michigan, and we blasted it, and it's really nice. We enjoy the flavor. flavor that we get from it is like the old zebra stripe gum or the fruit stripe gum, that multiple fruit stripe gum back in the day you used to get, the real fruit. That's the first taste you get. And then from that, it goes a little piney and then straight to gas. So we're happy with it. We're happy with that one. We got a Streetwalker OG, Jamaican Streetwalker OG that is straight, all Jamaican land races that we picked out. We got that. We also have the Caribbean strawberry. One of the phenos that we found had more of a banana strawberry tangy kind of flavor to that. So we're working with them beans as well on that pheno. Oh, I got a reclining Buddha. It's 80% indica, 20% sativa. We crossed it with an M4 that's from Mexico. That was also 80% indica, 20% sativa to keep that high indica in that. But we're only in the first beginning stages of that one.
So how long have you been working on the breeding side of cannabis?
Breeding side of it for at least the last 4 years. I have a lot of friends. I know Matt Harvey from BC Butt Depot, him, Ben Drunker, and all his family, and a lot of other people, James Loud, all them guys that have great breeders and stuff that know what they're doing and stuff. I'm friends with them guys, and listening to them and understanding what you're looking for and characteristics of the phenos and stuff like that. Like, the pheno hunter, talked to him a few times. I'm sorry where I was going, chain of thought for a second, but yeah, the pheno hunter and all that. What was it? For some reason, I forgot. I just did a nice bowl before we got on. So what was the question again? I get lost in my thoughts.
I was asking what brought on the breeding side of things there.
Yeah.
What made you want to venture down that road?
That, and I'll be honest with you, because I'm old school. I first went over to Amsterdam back in 2002 over there and all that. And I remember the original skunk, all this original stuff, that nowadays, a lot of this stuff, it has so many different crosses and the crazy names, all high-end boofy stuff. So I wanted to get back to trying to get some original land races. Use some of this new stuff, like some like Crockett's Strawberry Fields. Use one of Somo's old stuff. Use some old stuff, maybe with a little bit of new stuff, but definitely cross some of them Jamaican land races, because there's a lot of great land races there in Jamaica. Like my wife's been working on for the last 4 years a Sweet Island skunk. They got a really good skunk over there in Jamaica, and so we've been working on that. By picking out, finding the best phenos, kept on crossing and recrossing it.
And it must be exciting to be. I mean, just Michigan alone is the cannabis industry alone. I can't imagine trying to take it on as for the worldwide scale there. What are some of the differences you see from places in the cannabis industry at the moment?
What's the question? What are some of the differences I see? What?
From in location from cannabis, I mean, how they look at it, if they're in Jamaica versus here.
They're like Jamaica. They're far behind us. I mean, there are some good growers there and stuff, but some of them, they may be good growers, but they don't have the curing part down. They don't have a good curing room, or they have a good curing room. They don't handle it proper or something like. So Jamaica has a long way to go between there and the U.S. And as far as back in the day, California was the place for cannabis. But yeah, you're right. Michigan, there's some great strains that come out of there, like the GMO, which is a great one. My wife loves the GMO. That originated in Michigan, and that's a really, really good strain there. It's a good producer if you're making rosin or extracts, and it's just a really good high too. So that's a good strain there. But now more and more days, since more states are coming legal, all these people that used to do stuff in their closet and their basement and stuff are being able to come, stuff that they've created and only their friends have been able to get a hold of, are now being able to bring out their skills and their passion out there. And so you're being able to also find some pretty unique stuff too. Some not too boofy, but unique enough where it's nice.
what are some of your favorite events that you enjoy going to currently?
Well, of course, our squash off competition, when we do our live interactive cannabis to rosin competition. I love doing that one. The Freedom Rally, Boston Freedom Rally. Hopefully, we're gonna be able to do it this year. They weren't able to do it last year. They had to do it via via Zoom, and that's a fun event because over 100,000 people come to the Boston Freedom Rally, and they have great music. We held the very first ever cannabis competition at the Boston Freedom Rally at the Boston Common, downtown Boston. So it's kind of interesting. I like that event. There's a there's an event happening in Missouri on the 27th to the 30th. It's called the Grow Trade Fest. Girl Jennifer Rouse has been putting together. It's looking like it's going to be a great one. It's at the Lake of the Ozarks, the Four Seasons there. So we're basically taking over the Four Seasons. There's going to be no cannabis sales. There are going to be novelty seed sales there, but you're allowed to smoke in the whole, all there at the place, and in the VIP area, which holds over 300 people, we'll be doing our squash shop there. So that'll be nice. And then of course Vegas. Vegas is always a fun place to go now that they're cannabis friendly and all that. We'll be doing our first squash shop in Vegas on July 9th in conjunction with Hayes Radio Secret Sesh or Secret Cup, Secret Cup, and also the Cannabis Business Award shows, Cannabis Award shows. So that's going to be interesting because we've never done a squash off yet in Vegas. I'm just happy to be able to start getting out and doing it because it's been over a year and a half since we've been able to commute and be able to do shows and events and stuff. And now it's starting to be where they're allowing people to do it as long as you're vaccinated and stuff. They're allowing people to get out there more and more. So I'm glad. And I'm hoping it gets back to normal, back to where we have to have a show every month, or maybe 2 shows a month.
Right on. Well, what before I ask my next question, before I forget this, I actually would like to thank you for doing what you do in the cannabis industry. You were very influential in getting a past guest of mine on the show. I had been trying to get him on for quite some time, and then once I was like, I was told that I was also a big fan of yours, and so once I said, well, Uncle Stoner said he'd come on, and actually, all right, he actually, and that was a THC4 PTSD,
Oh yeah,
a Flint grower there,
Todd.
Todd.
Yeah, Todd.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Yeah, Todd. Great guy. Yeah.
Yep. So with a little bit of your influence there, I got him on the show. So thank you for that, my friend.
No worries.
So I appreciate you're very influential with a lot of people as well. So what made you start the to be honest? What led you down that road?
Well, the reason kind of is I got tired of being a judge and going to these competitions and all that, and the consumer, all they hear is, oh, who won this or what, and they don't understand why that person won or anything. And unfortunately, a lot of these competitions nowadays, if you pay the right money, you can win. And I didn't think there was any value for the consumer or anything for them to get out of it. So I wanted to create a competition where the audience had a chance to learn from the judges. And so that's why I created Squash Off. It's a live interactive competition where the judges sit at a table facing the audience. And as they're judging, I ask them questions or the audience can ask them questions. And it's all done right there in front of them. We sit there and put a big TV screen up and project a trichome formation of the entry onto the TV screen for the audience to see and the judges to critique. So when the judges talk about it, I was pulled too early or not enough heads there, the audience can understand and know why that's important and stuff, and learn things from curing, handling to harvesting at the right time. They get to learn that. They get to understand terpene profiles and stuff. And, I just wanted to get back and educate people, and let them go away with hopefully being able to make a smarter decision on, what cannabis they want to use and why, you know. And the people that win honestly win. They have something to brag about. It's an honest competition. You can't buy it. Everything's done out in the open. You know, I have a recording of Soma for Soma Seeds. He's been doing competitions for over 30 years. He said our competition is the most honest and transparent competition he's ever been involved in. And that's why I like it. People need, and my new slogan this year is put your cannabis where your mouth is. A lot of people talk about how their cannabis is the best, this and that's. Well, hey, let's put it on a microscope. Let these judges smell the terpene profile. Let's squash it, see what kind of rosin we get out. Let's see what that terpene profile looks like. You know, and it's just a fun competition. I mean, we've done them all over the world. We've done them in Amsterdam twice. We've done them in Mexico. We've done some demonstration kind of squash offs in Jamaica. Not a full competition, just kind of educational stuff. And we've done
I gotta
also.
agree with Jason. I gotta agree with Jason Einstone in chat there. This sounds amazing. I love the idea. This honestly, I love everything about this thing so far. Because like you said, a lot of people I like to learn, but when you're really throwing it out there, it makes you feel it sounds like you're there and you're like really wrapped into it. Like you have your say it. It sounds amazing. It really does. It sounds like that event like I've never heard of it. It sounds pretty awesome. So where was the first one at?
First one we did was at Chalice with Rosentech. I came up with the idea, and I got a hold of a friend of mine, Glassblower, and I said, "Here, make me some awards for this." Called Rosentech up and said, "Hey, I want to hold this little competition at your booth." Okay, they didn't realize how many people would show up and how big it would be, but they pretty much let me use their whole booth, and they had a huge 50 by 50. And we in that time it was a 2-day, came to be a 2-day competition because we had, I think, 3 people tied for first. So we had to sit there and rejudge rejudge a few of them and stuff. But yeah, Chalice, 2017 was the first one we did. And even then we had Frenchie Cannoli, we had Mila, we had Giddy Up from Emotech and stuff. Master Yoda, Tony from SKB, Super Kind Buds out of Boston. I'm not sure who else, a few other people. But I always try and get highly educated judges that can precipitate that knowledge back to the audience and stuff. Not everybody's, I mean, some people are great knowing what, about cannabis, but not everybody's good about, talking about it, conveying their knowledge to people and stuff. And that's what I look for in judges, is someone that, can convey that knowledge that they have to the audience or answer a question that I ask them. And so I usually try and get judges that have at least 10 years or more experience. But sometimes, I mean, I've had, Soma, Frenchie, Mila, another guy named Steve Hayes, old school guy in Amsterdam, and a few others that I really, they probably have over 200 years experience combined in cannabis, So I like it. Because you get these, and I'm blessed to know a lot of these people. And if I ask them to be judges, they usually judge for me. So it's nice.
It's a pretty amazing lineup right there. Love me. I've had her on the show a couple times. Great lady. Please tell me you're having one in Michigan very soon.
We were going to do it during Hash Bash Cup, but we had the opportunity to do Vegas for the first time. And since we've done, so as of right now, we don't have one scheduled, but maybe in October, I think we may be doing one. Hopefully, maybe October we'll do a squash off in Michigan again. Because as I said, right now we're getting booked up. Like we're even doing we did our very first ever last year in Buffalo, New York, a CBD squash off, and so now we're going to be probably doing 2 more. We may be doing one in conjunction with Champs at the end of July. do a CBD squash off, and then in Madison, Wisconsin, with a gentleman named Adam Brown helping us put it on. I'll be do a CBD squash off there because a lot of people don't understand. There's a lot of people that smoke CBD rosin. It's you can make some really nice rosin out of some beautiful CBD flower. Some hemp flower. Some people don't know that. So we're going to be. I think that competition is going to go over well, especially in Wisconsin. There's a lot of hemp farmers there. A lot of the good quality hemp comes from Wisconsin. Like I know like USA Hemp or Hemp Living USA. They're based out of Wisconsin. They always have some great hemp products and stuff, from gummies to Delta 8 to the flour. So I'm kind of excited about doing the CBD squash off, which I'll have to get all hemp farmers because a lot of people don't understand the trichome formation and the way it's supposed to look and stuff is different than THC flower. And so you have to make sure you get the right judges that know what they're judging. And
It sounds good, man. But you can't discount Michigan, as well as some good cannabis. I mean, we have some great extraction artists here as well. I mean, worthy of a squash off. I think we've got enough here worthy of.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm sure. I mean,
so have you had a favorite spot so far? What let me ask this, because favorite would be a little biased, but you can't lie with numbers and attendance, right? So which one has kind of been the biggest one so far?
Ooh. Oh man. Ooh. I might want to say Mexico. Believe it or not, Mexico, not this year, but last year when we did it, we had a huge crowd there watching and everything, over 300 people. And I had to have a translator too. So that's what impressed me. I had to have a translator. So whatever I said, I had someone translate. And if the judges didn't understand, so luckily most of my judges were bilingual there. So if I asked them a question, I just asked them to answer it back in Spanish. So I'd ask them one, so it'd be me asking the question, and then my translator saying the question to the audience, and then the judges answering back in Spanish. So, but I really enjoyed that one. They were really passionate about wanting to learn, and that was a good one. I enjoyed that. Of course, Amsterdam. I mean, you can't beat Amsterdam doing a squash off. One of the first ones we did, the place we did it at, right in front of it was the Amsterdam police station. So we did a squash off. Pretty much, here's the police station. Right there is where we did the squash off. And technically, it's, I don't know, gray area, but I just wanted to do it right there to see if we can get away with it. And we did, no problem. That was a fun time doing that one in Amsterdam.
I love your attitude. I just wanted to do it to see if I could get away with it.
I know. Funny about it, because I didn't think about my judges sitting outside in a little terrace there. They're here. Police station's here, and they're all there dabbing and stuff like that, just getting all high and shit. Cops walking in and out.
That had to be a pretty different experience.
Yeah,
that's fun. Resurrection Prophet in chat would like to know when are you going to be in Vegas?
July 9th is when we're doing the squash off there, in conjunction with Hayes Radio Network. They're having a secret cup there, and at the VIP golden ticket party, we're going to be doing the squash off, and then be announcing the awards on July 9th. And then we're in works with Champs Trade Show. We'll probably be doing a CBD squash off at the end of August. I think that's the 27th to the 30th, maybe. And Champs will be there in Vegas.
Is there a place where they can find the schedule?
For our schedule, where all we're going to be at? No, we haven't
That's
put
it.
that out.
That's
We're
it.
still ironing out details. I need to get something put down and everything because there's one or two that we do have, few we do have locked in, and one or two we're waiting to lock in. But I'll have something up in the hopefully the next week or so on the Squash Off page, which you can go to, Squash Off on YouTube or Squash Off on Instagram as well.
So you've named off a bunch of very, very incredible people in the cannabis industry. Who's been in particular like a mentor, if you will, or somebody that's been very influential in your journey?
Oh, there's been so many of them. There's been a few. I mean, one, it's been kind of influential, having kind of made me look a different way in life. And unfortunately, he just passed away recently. He was my good friend George Young. George Young, also known as Boston George. Johnny Depp played in the movie Blow. We became pretty close friends. I learned a lot about life and stuff from him on that side. As far as cannabis, another person that passed away, I learned a lot from is Franco. Used to be from Strain Hunters. You know, he taught me a lot about cannabis and things. And of course, Mr. Ben Drunk. Ben, even back then, back in the day when I first went over to Amsterdam, I was dealing with my PTSD. I was ADHD, hyper as hell, had dreadlocks down to here, and he still kind of, befriended me and always gave me a smile and always hooked me up with genetics and stuff like that. So Ben Dronker from Cincy Seeds, great guy. I always enjoyed spending time with him. I was blessed. I think it was 2 years ago at the Jack Herrera Cup there. I was able to give him the Lifetime Achievement Award. So that was pretty nice. When it comes to hash, one of the persons taught me a lot about hash is a guy named Steve Hayes. This guy, he always has the best hash. I've actually been sharing some of his posts. Him and my other friend Jair, I've been doing little posts where Steve breaks out all this different hash and stuff. But that guy always had the best hash. Amazing stuff, you know. And then Mila, and then another person, Mila. She's always been, I've known her for over 20 years. Learn a lot about her and life and how she makes hash and stuff. And I've been blessed. It's hard because I've been blessed to being able to spend with a lot of old school people that have done a lot for this community. Some of them aren't here with us anymore. Unfortunately, and then some are, and then but they're not doing well. Eddie Lepp, he's another good guy. I used to go up to his farm back in the day in Upper Lucerne County. He used to talk to me, teach me a little bit about growing tips and too as well and stuff. And actually that's where first time I ever grew Jack Herrera. I went up to Eddie's farm. It was during Jack Herrera's party. And Jack hands me a tray of the original Jack. So I got original Jack Herrera from Jack back in the day. That was kind of, special to me, you know, and he was cool to hang out with. But as I said, there's just been so many of them. I've learned a lot. Each person I've learned a lot from, and I just took back what knowledge they gave me and applied what I thought I wanted to, and maybe took out some, especially when it came to growing or something like that. And that's how I did it. I learned and absorbed what they told me, but then either added to it or changed it a little bit. But I was blessed to be able to, learn from some OGs, some real OGs, some old school growers, real old school, people that know life, they experienced life and lived life.
So I can't help but wonder, when was that moment for you that that you knew cannabis was what you wanted to do? I've had that moment myself where I've told myself, this is it. I'm all in, all in.
I I don't know if I had that moment. I just, once I realized how much a better quality of life I had by smoking cannabis. And then once I went to Amsterdam, and then I started growing, and I just grew that passion. I guess it would be 2000. I guess 2002. It's, once I went over to Amsterdam and just saw all these different strains and all these different black sheep, as we called them back in the day. Even then, even although California was legal, we were still the black sheep. It's not like it was, it is now today. I mean, and I guess it would be probably 2002. It's kind of like, I want to make a difference in this world. And I know cannabis will help out. That, cannabis is important. It's going to help this world out in many ways, mentally, physically, monetarily, spiritually. There's so many ways this plant can help the human race out. And I wanted to be able to bring that to the world the best I could.
I appreciate that. You've done a great job. You put forth hell of an effort so far, my friend.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about the scene there. I mean, it had to have been pretty amazing to start a fire. So tell me a little bit about that era, if you would.
What?
Hanging out.
Oh, back in Amsterdam, it was like all the OGs were like rock stars. I mean, people treated these people, all these old school legends, Eddie Lepp, Ben Drunk, Eagle Bill, Sam the Skunk Man, all these, all these guys, even Buddha, him just starting out back then, he was still treated because he had that cheese. Adam Dunn, he was a rock star. All these people were treated like, because they had the best strain, best genetics. It was like pretty much, especially during during high times, it was just party central. Everybody had a great time. It was just a lot of funner times, because but it wasn't all about the money like it is now. It was, a lot of people that entered over there were all black market people and stuff, Only a few companies, because you only had California that was legal back then. So all these people that came and entered either were Amsterdam or a few people from different states or countries that, just entered just because they wanted to enter. It wasn't about the money. It wasn't about making all this money on this next strain. It was all more about the plant and the passion, I believe. It felt more about the plant, more about the passion about it then. But it was a good time. Always some parties, a lot of mushrooms being eaten, some great parties. And during the cup, if you're a judge and stuff, all these coffee shops would cater to you. I mean, you walk in there, you had pumpkin Thai soup at Greenhouse. You go to this other place, little flaming yawn, little things. I mean, they really did it up back then. They wanted to make sure they won because it was a high honor back then to win. So a lot of these dispensaries and stuff would really treat all the customers and the cup goers really nicely. Nowadays it's a little different. It's gotten smaller, as far as at least the high times cup, going there. But Amsterdam still has a little passion, a little vibe. It's just not exactly the same, but it's a fun place to go. And it's great hanging out in coffee shops. And if you're young enough, definitely stay at a hostel. That's where you go to stay at a hostel. You get to meet people from all over the world. And one thing that brings old people together is that joint. You start smoking a joint, you start sharing it with someone you don't know. Next thing you know, you meet a new friend from a different country. That's one thing I like about them. Anywhere in the world you go like this. People know what that means. They know it's not a cigarette. They know, that means, hey, you want to smoke, And universal signal. Seriously.
That it is. So I can't help but wonder your thoughts on the evolution of hash to now. I mean, you've run into a splash off, but I mean, you definitely had time in Amsterdam where hash was hash, and it wasn't rosin, You know what I mean? So how do you feel about, the evolution, man? I to this day, I really appreciate that bubble. And it breaks my heart to see that bubble actually pressed into that rosin performance. Such a great product as is. You know what I mean? So what are your thoughts on the evolution?
It's kind of each, I like both forms. I love them because the only place, it's hard to find really good hash here in US, because as I said, most of the people don't press it right away. So that's the only way you can find apps now. That's why I like my apps now, because you can actually get hash there and smoke good, fine Nepalese, some full melt bubble hash. I like that of it, but I also love the way the rosin turns out when you press it. It's just like, it's amazing. I mean, the percent THC level goes up so much higher. And if it's good hash, the flavor, the terpene profile just really comes out of it. Of course, there is hash out there you can have them too, like a Bubble Man, DC Bubble Man. He came to my house in Jamaica about a year ago, came to visit. Unfortunately, I was leaving that day, so I only got to see him for 30 minutes. But he brought over some of these full melt, and we just dabbed it. It was so beautiful. So there is some raw hash out there, full bubble, full melt, that you can dab if you know what you're doing. If you're someone who knows what they're doing as well as Bubble Man does, there's some fine stuff. But for some people that aren't as well at making hash, but they can make okay stuff. You take that okay stuff and you press it right, and then you get some fire. I mean, you get some fire out of it, I believe. So, I don't know. I like the rosin. I mean, it depends on where I'm at, actually. I mean, I like them both. I can't really sit there and say I like one better than the other. It just depends on where I'm at. Here, of course, I'm not going to get that much hash here in the U.S. stuff, but I'll get plenty of live rosin and stuff. So I'll smoke that. Of course, in Amsterdam, I'll be smoking a lot of hash, just regular hash there.
Can I get you to maybe tap your phone? Sometimes some phones get like tunnel a little bit. They went south on you. I can see you. It sounds like you're speaking, and the mic's a little bit weird. Sometimes saying, I'm happy with it, but Chad says it's a little like you're almost speaking it again.
How's that now? How's that now?
Same. I don't. So maybe try tipping the phone a little bit. It can be like maybe up and down real quick. Sometimes the my phones are.
Does that work?
Yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. They usually come back. I don't know why they do it. They do it. I'm good with it. So let me ask you this: hash rosin or flower rosin? That's one thing I can't. I'm very adamant of saying leave the hash and then kind of take from the flowers. You've went through the process of making your beautiful bubble. If you want rosin, just skip the work. So what's your thoughts? I don't.
If you make good enough rosin, hash, full melt hash where you can dab it, leave it. But if it's like mid-grade or not, squash it, turn it into some nice, rosin. But also, I love flower rosin, especially. I mean, I've tasted some amazing flower rosin from some of our instances where it sugars up. As soon as you press it, extra sugars up. Where you can't even tell that it was pressed. It's so sugared up that it looks like it's been purged and everything. There's some, So I like them both, but I agree with you. If you have some full melts, leave it. But it's mid-grade or something, press it. But when it comes to which one I like the best, it depends on if I make it or if someone else makes it. Because if they make the hash into rosin, they have to know what they're doing and stuff to keep the terpene profile right and everything. But with the flour, usually if you do it right, no matter what, that terpene profile is going to turn out really nice.
I'm almost afraid that the hash in itself, a nice bubble, or even just the old school hash that we remember, will be a thing of the past here soon. Is what I'm afraid of, because I've lately a few times I've been in a group of people and brought out some nice hash, and they look at it like it's almost opium. They're used to the dabs, rosin, all that stuff, a little pluck. It's pretty. You know what I mean? They don't know what it is. So I'm afraid that the old school hash might be something that gets lost.
Yeah, maybe eventually, but as long as some of these old school people are around, like Frenchy Cannoli, Mila, and even Bubble Matt, I think that they'll keep it alive. They'll keep the hash movement alive. But I think it'll still be around. I mean, of course, it's people making it. If you notice, not too many people make hash nowadays. They also take their trim, and then what they do, they take the trim, making it. Well, if they do make hash, they take the trim and then squash it. But not nowadays. It's hard to find someone that just makes just hash for hash. So at least in Michigan, it seems that way. Back when 20 years ago, you can pretty much get hash anywhere. In the U.S., no problem finding hash. But nowadays, it's dabs, it's rosin, live rosin. You have to know the right person to get good hash nowadays.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't. It's not like I don't enjoy the beautiful extracts. They're very delicious. But I'm that guy. I'm that guy in Michigan. I guess at least one of the few that appreciate the hash and actually leave it as a nice hash product, or at least try. But yeah, I don't know. If I ever got into the swishing there, I think I would tend to swish the flour and still appreciate my fine art of hash. Save some time. Again, save some time. So, what are some of your favorite strains that you've came across? I mean, as either rosin form or flour form.
One of my favorites, and it's hard to find the original. It's called Rockstar. Really enjoyed the old original Rockstar. Had a very nice fruity flavor to it. It was really nice, and I grew that for a few years until you couldn't find the seeds anymore. And then now they got another Rockstar coming out there, but I don't think it's original because I know the guy that had the seeds. He got rid of them to one person, and that person lost them somehow. So I don't know. I like the Rockstar. Old Mother Sativa. It's old strain. I like that one. As far as flower form and everything. And rosin, I like GMO. I had a really nice sherbet. It was live resin though. Some beautiful sherbet. That the sherbet flavor just came out just so nice. It was just really nice. And of course, the original skunk, old school skunk. I remember back in the day, first ever trying skunk. That got me so high. Just one or two puffs, and I was just, of course, unfortunately, my tolerance is a lot higher than there nowadays. But I like the original old school skunk. I like that one very well.
All good ones there. I see some people from Spain asking, will you be in Spain anytime soon?
I haven't. It's been a while since I've been. I'd love to go there eventually and do a squash off there. I used to go there a lot for the Spanibus actually, but I haven't been there. It's been a few years since I've been there. Hopefully, now that the COVID's starting to die down and stuff, and things are starting to open up, I'm hoping we can organize some kind of squash off there perhaps next year. Yeah, I got a few friends that are living in Barcelona and a few other places there in Spain. Like Nerd Extracts. He's a good friend of mine, and a few other people that are over there. I'd love to go see. I enjoy it over in Spain. They're very passionate as well about their hash, about their flower, about everything. They're very passionate when it comes to cannabis. Spain.
Yeah, it'd be a good time. I hope to cross off the span of this event someday off. It's definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah, I went to the third one they ever had. I went to the third Spanibus they ever had back in the day. It was kind of interesting because they had it at the Olympic Coliseum, Olympic area where they had the Olympics at back in the day. So it was really nice. And of course, it's grown so much. Last time I went there, I could not believe how bigger it grew. And it's a cool event though. It's a really fun event as well.
Has there been one in particular cannabis event throughout your lifetime that's been the one?
What's that?
Has there been one cannabis event that has stood out in all your years? One in
I guess
particular
it would probably be the last time I went. Probably the last time I went to Spanibus because it was 2015. It's been a few years since I've been over in Spain, and I got to and actually going out doing things. And I got to go there and do a thing called Cannabis World Now. Got to run into all my other friends and stuff. I really enjoy Spanibus. That's a fun one. That's one of the ones that sticks out in my mind a lot is Spanibus. It's a fun. A lot of people go to it. A lot of parties, a lot of networking. It's a good time. I enjoy that one a lot.
So, well, Mr. Uncle Stoner, I know you said you had some traveling you had to do in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm very very grateful for your time and coming on. And, rather than wearing you down to the last second, I would rather leave on a good note with the possibility of someday getting you back. So, I'd like to thank you for coming on. But before we go, I'd like to go over a couple of things, just a couple of minutes with you. First and foremost, I'd like to give you an invite to what I call the wormhole. The wormhole is Monday nights for sure. The wormhole usually 2 a.m. They start here in Michigan, but they go from like tonight after I end the show, for instance. I'll end this, and then I'll pick up the rest of the evening with the wormhole. Wormhole is always open to any past guests that have been on the show. It's an ever evolving panel. So, one night we may be talking about hash, we may be talking about growing, we may be talking about mushrooms, conspiracy theories. It's an every night show. So content may vary from night to night to keep it fresh. But this is your formal invitation to that. It is the very same Zoom link that I sent you tonight. That is always good. Anytime that you'd like to hop on and have a conversation with us, promote an upcoming squash off that you'd like to get the word out, I would use that link to that as well. I would greatly appreciate it. We can't find you unless we know where you're at. So if you'd like to pop on and tell us what's going on, it'd be awesome. So please don't lose that link. And if you do, just ask for it, and I'd be happy to send you another one. It's open anytime you'd like to use it. Please don't think you need an invitation. And the last thing I'd like to get from you is old school radio soundbite where the artist or the guest would come on. Hey, this is 105.5 FM. But in this case, what I'm looking for is something along the lines of, hey, this is Uncle Stoner, and I'm on fucking Talking Shit with Eagle, episode 402. You can add whatever you want. Make it your own. Put your Instagram, whatever you'd like.
I'll do my best. Let's see. Eagle Gardens, Eaton Hill. All right, wait. Use Eagle Gardens or what's it, Neil?
It's fucking talking shit with Eagle is the name of the show.
Eagle Bill. Okay, Eagle Bill or Eagle Gardens.
Just Eagle. Fucking talking shit with Eagle.
All right. Hey, this is Uncle Stone. I'm fucking talking shit with Eagles. Have to be careful. My in-laws are in there. Don't think I'm cussing up a storm. But this is a great show to check out. This is Uncle Stoner. Check out Squash Off all around the world, especially in Vegas, Missouri, Wisconsin, Mexico this year. We're hitting it all, even more next year. Peace out, many blessings. Keep on growing that plat and that knowledge and that passion.
Amazing. And again, thank you very much. You know, getting here to get to know you a little bit tonight, I can very much understand why you were so much asked for this evening. An amazing
Well, I
guy.
appreciate it. I
It was
thank
my
for everybody
pleasure to meet you.
listening. I appreciate for everybody listening and asking for me to come on. It was a good time. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. Have get some rest, have some safe travels tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see you either on the show or at a squash off event soon.
All right. Peace out. Peace.
So have a good night.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Episode 402 with Uncle Stoner. I greatly appreciate you tuning in. You guys know the deal. Please do something nice for somebody. Random acts of kindness do save lives. I'm never going to quit beating that drum. Well, give me a few minutes. It is 12:30. I'm going to get a little bit of water done. What do you guys think about 1:30? 1:30, we'll get another wormhole going. You want to get it earlier than that, DM me. Maybe we can get something popped up. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys in a few, hopefully in the wormhole. Thank you for tuning in.